Hi everybody, it's Brett here from Metropole. Well, are you considering entering the property market as an investor? Well, the current property market is predominantly made up of owner-occupiers and home buyers. Investor numbers are certainly on the rise. As a property investor, taking that very first step can be exciting, but can also be quite nerve-wracking and very confusing at times. Knowing what step to take first and how to go about it can also be very confusing. Combine that with the endless amount of information, news headlines and opinions out there, it can lead to a serious case of analysis paralysis. Would you like to know an easy way to make the right decision every time so you can invest with confidence and certainty? Well, listen on and read on as I share the framework we use with our clients when we sit down with them on a regular basis to ensure we get it right the first time. And if you're starting off with the property or a property, you're probably in the wrong place or listening to the wrong person. As Dr. Stephen Covey says with his highly effective habits, begin with the end in mind. You see, most property investors start to accumulate properties and hope they end up over here one day. When successful people really start with the end in mind, they understand where they'd like to be over the next 10, 15, 20 years. It's really about choices. Property is just the vehicle, because then we can actually work backwards and tailor a plan and a strategy and make sure we get that first property to fit in with your longer term plan and your longer term goals. It's about taking a strategic approach rather than a buy and hope strategy. Once you establish where you'd like to be, the next step is finance. What we would like to do is help you understand your borrowing capacity. Okay, so rather than just going to a bank or broker who's very short term and will lock you into the best loan, you need someone with a bit of foresight. At Metropole, we use a great deal of finance strategists who are able to look 1 or 2 steps ahead. They're able to structure things appropriately for your longer term goal. The other thing they're also able to put in place is a buffer, and that's a really important risk management tool. It's not timing the market, but it is time in the market. You need to have 15 or 20 years of compounding and time in the market to allow compounding to do the magic. So making sure you've got a buffer in place is going to make sure you're going to be able to hold the asset through good times and bad times. Incredibly important to get that set up and get that structured correctly, and also have the foresight to understand that you may need to invest or renovate or add value at some stage as well. So it's not just about tying you into the best loan and also the best interest rate. The next thing we look at is structure, what name you're going to buy in. It's probably an ideal situation while you're getting your finances looked at to speak to someone like an accountant or someone at a higher level that can offer you that kind of advice. Sometimes you're buying a property that you may want to hand down to your kids one day. So buying in your name or your own name may not be appropriate. It could end up costing hundreds of thousands of dollars in capital gains and taxes further down the track. And that's not something you want to burden your family with. So it's really important to understand that, because also if you're buying in a trust or whatever name you're buying in, your finance broker or your strategist is probably going to need to know that as well. So now you know where you're going to be in the longer term, you've got your finance in place and the structure set up properly. Now we can get to the property. Now we can start to take more of a strategic approach. But again, it's a very simple process you need to follow. It's not just a matter of going out and buying any property and hoping for the best. You need to take more of a strategic approach. At Metropole, we follow our strict investment grade fundamentals. We don't make decisions off a gut feel. We use facts, data and numbers, and we also bring it back in line to meet up with your longer term plan and your longer term goal. So that's the process, guys. It's a very, very simple process if you can follow it, and it also avoids you having mistakes along the way or making offers on properties that when you don't have your finance or got the wrong structure in place. We're protecting you to start with, working in line with your longer term goals rather than just starting out with a property. So that's the best place to start. Follow this simple process and framework, and you're going to get far superior results with far less risk. Thanks for watching.